Hey, Imran here. Today we'll be learning everything about WordPress plugins. Here is here is what we'll be learning in. Okay. So introduction to plugin, will where to find plugins, how to find plugins, how to delete a plugin, recommended plugins, and best practices. Okay. So how to once introduction to plugins. A plugin is a piece of software that extends the functionality or to add a new feature to a website. In simple words, by default, WordPress does not comes with a load of features. If you want to extend the functionality of your WordPress website, you need to install the plugin. Otherwise, you will have just basic pages and features. But how to install a plugin? Where to find the plugin? There are over 55,000 plus plugins available in a repository, WordPress repository, where you can find based on your requirement. Okay, apart from that, there are tons of amazing plugins available in the market, specifically premium plugins, not free, paid plugins on different website, third-party companies and developers. One of the best marketplace, I'll be sharing it. Now, very easy. If you want to find free plugins, you can just go into areas. You can come down to WordPress and click on to plugins, and under plugins click on to add new. When you click on to add new, you will be able to see the list of plugins, and you can search plugins with popularity. By default it is featured. You can search with popularity. You can look in terms of recommended or favorites. So when you click on to this recommended, you can see these are few of the recommended plugins that you can use it. Apart from that, you can also search if you know any of the plugin names, which I'll be providing in the list today, in the in the PPT. You can use that. If you have the name, you can just go and search for. Okay. Now, apart from that, you can also look for plugins in wordpress.org/plugins. Now under here you'll be able to see plugin option, and you can find bulk of plugins that are available in the marketplace. This is basically WordPress repository. That is what we are checking it for free. Apart from that, one of the very famous marketplace for WordPress plugins, themes, and many other is basically Code Canon, or you can just say Theme Forest. So in here you will be finding this is basically WordPress, where we have found where you can go and find a huge number of plugins, premium plugins that you can buy it uh, at the lowest cost for your website to increase the functionality of your website. So apart from that, there are so many other developers that creates websites that has their own selling market. They have their own marketplace available today. Okay. So coming back to how to install a plugin. Now in WordPress we can install a plugin in a different ways based on your based on how you want to install it. But there are two infamous way that we can install it through WordPress repository plugin directory, or you can manually upload the plugin. We will learn this both ways. First, we'll understand WordPress repository. So to do that up, we'll just come back here. We just need to be clicking on plugins, add new plugin, and then you can search for a plugin and choose the required plugins from the repository. Now in my side, I will be adding a small plugin, for example, Akismet. So I can just install, and if you see that in every plugin has an install option, you just need to click on whichever plugin that you want to install. Just click on to install, and then right after, now it gets installed, it downloads to your WordPress theme. Then what you can do is once installed, you can activate it. So if you say that this is installed and then it turns into activate. So just click on to activate and it gets activated. So in this way you can activate your plugins. This is how basically you can install and activate your plugins. If you want to add more plugins, you can just click on to install and click on to add new. Okay. So once into add new, you can search for any of the plugins. For example, I look for Elementor. So you can just come down and click on to install. Once installed, if you want to activate, you can activate it. You can activate the plugin right from here or from the installed plugin list. From the installed plugin list, you can also install it. So let me just go down and click on to installed plugins. Now you will be able to see two plugins. One is active and another is non-active. You see this? This is by default active. In order to deactivate, you can just click on to deactivate option, and then you can, if you want to activate, click on to activate option right here. It gets activated. This is how you can install the plugin from WordPress itself. Apart from that, if you there is another way of uploading plugins. Installing plugins is manually uploading it to your web hosting services. How do we go down and do that up? So I'm just into plugins. Okay. I'll look for a plugin, for example, let me say contact form 7. So I'll click on to contact form 7 and I'll download this plugin. Okay. So it is getting downloaded. So I'll just head on to my WordPress site. Now this time I'll just click on to plugins, add new plugin and upload. If you see on top, you have an option called upload. Just click onto it and then you need to be choosing where the website is. But for me, the website means the plugin which is downloaded here. I'm going to drag it and I'm going to drop it here. Or you can go down and choose the file that wherever you have downloaded and then click on to install. This is another way of installing the plugin. This is one of the easiest way of installing. You don't need to be technically sound into it. And look, it's installed. If I want to activate, I can activate it or I can activate later. It does not mean that I need to be activating it immediately. Based on the requirement, I can activate. If I click on to install plugins, then you will be able to see, you see that we have just now installed this plugin. If you want to activate, I'll just click on to activate and it gets activated. It's very simple. If you want to deactivate, just deactivate the plugin. Cool. So how to delete a plugin? Now deleting a plugin is very simple and very straightforward. In order to delete a plugin, the first thing is you cannot delete an activated plugin. For that you need to deactivate the plugin. So if I want to delete if I want to delete what to say, Akismet, you can just click on to the delete option right here and it will just ask for confirmation. You can just click on to OK and it will be deleted from your website. Otherwise, if you want to delete any of the activated plugins, you can click on to first thing is deactivate the plugin and only then you will be deleting the plugin. In order to delete individual plugin, you can click on to delete option. It will ask you for the confirmation. Otherwise, you can delete in bulk. Just click on to just check option or individually check number of options and then click here and then click on to delete and apply. So all the plugins will get deleted. This is how you can update and delete the plugins. Now here are few of the recommended plugin. As discussed, there are 55,000 plus plugins available in WordPress repository. It will be very difficult to choose the right plugin, uh, the right set of plugin for your website, because each and every website is different and their functionality will always be different. So here are some of the plugins a WordPress site needs in general. So here is a list of site. When it comes down to contact forms, if you need a contact form, means a contact form, people that can fill in the information on your website in a contact us page or any other form that you want to create it, you can use any of the plugin. One of the highly used is Contact Form 7, WP Forms, Ninja Forms. Forminator is basically the new plugin into the vicinity. Um, Gravity Forms, which is basically a premium plugin, and then you have the Formidable Forms, another plugin that comes with loads of features. You can use any of those plugins if you but very simple. If you want anything, use Forminator, which is easy drag and drop features. It comes with loads of features. Apart from that, if you feel that no, you want to play with codes, you can always go ahead with Contact Form 7. Now coming back to Google Analytics, there are tons of plugins, but I did not test all those plugins. But here you can use Monster Interest, which is one of the highly popular plugin that can display lots of analytical data on your WordPress dashboard without visiting the Google Analytics account. Apart from that, you can use Sitekit by Google. This is a new plugin from by Google itself. So official by Google, you can install this. This plugin will help you installing WordPress, uh, Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and even it calculates page speed, and as well as you can connect with AdSense. So these are the options that it can use. It rather than having one, you can actually go down and activate, means you have three option in one plugin. Apart from that, in terms of SEO plugins, one of the most highly used SEO plugins are Yoast SEO. Then Rank Math, which is basically a new SEO plugins which has been literally famous these days, and it comes with loads of feature what Yoast SEO does or any other plugin does not provide in. My all current website and client website, I use Rank Math SEO. Apart from that, all-in-one SEO, SEO Press, and the SEO framework. And there are tons of other SEO plugins. These are few of the recommended plugins in terms of if you want to optimize or rank in Google, use these plugins. So email marketing plugins, if you feel that if you want to install have a plugin that can capture what that can capture um, people means uh, email addresses or do email marketing. This means you can use chimp mail, constant contacts, SendGrid, opt-in monster, and ConvertKit. Now these are a few of the plugins that you can use it. Just go and check it out exactly how to work around it. ठीक है. Security plugins. Now, security plugins is a very must, because usually if we do not get updated plugins, usually this our website gets hacked. We need to be making sure that our website are protected, and a hacker does not hack our website, or any kind of adwares or malwares are added onto our website. One of the very famous, and these are all mostly paid services, specifically Suri. Suri is one of the paid services. It does not come with free services. Apart from that, I think security, it comes with loads of feature for free of cost. I would literally love you to, I'll be having a separate video explaining how to install and activate security features in iTheme security. Jetpack is by default comes from Automatic. Now it's one plugin that has so many options that you can utilize it for your website. Then comes Word Fence, another security plugin that can add a lot of what to say uh, uh, means, plugins security to your website. Then we have backup plugins. If you feel that you need to be taking backup, there are many other ways of taking backup. But if you want to have an install, means if you want to have a plugin that does a job for you, you can always use Updraft Plus, Backup Buddy, and WalletPress from Jetpack, which is basically a paid service. Now coming back to cache plugins, if you want to speed up your website, load faster, then use WP Rocket, which is basically a paid plugin. W3 Total Cache. Now this is both. It is available in both free and paid, as well as WP Super Cache, which is another plugin that can cache up. It comes with both free and pro. WP Fast Cache, free and pro, and then we have Lightspeed, and there are many other plugins. Lightspeed is basically a different form of plugin altogether in comparison with on top. If you have a good Lightspeed or light servers, usually you can use this. It'll be really very helpful. It comes, and this plugin is totally free, completely free. I use Lightspeed Cache onto my server. So apart from that, you have page builder plugins. Now, if you want to design up your own landing pages, you want to without any coding, and you don't want to play with any of the codings, then this plugins will literally help you out. Like Elementor, which is my favorite, BV Builder, um, Divi Builder, and then you have a Visual Bakery, Thrive Architect, Breeze, Themify Builder, Site Origin Page Builder, and WordPress means WP Page Builder. Now these are all page builders. Now that means if you really want to design up your own designs, or if you have if and without coding, you can use any of those plugins. Code snippet plugins. Now, usually what happens is if you want to insert any of the codes or anything, I don't want to install Google Analytics or Google any kits to add those codes. I can always come down and use this plugins in terms of adding different codes on my site. One of the most easiest plugins, these are the two highly used plugins. For me, Header and Footer Code Manager is one of the best because it has a very straightforward and easy to use interface. Apart from that, you have insert headers and footers. That is also really very good. That could literally help you in terms of inserting codes, whether into the header or the footer. Okay. Now here are few of the best practices that you need to be looking for. So it's not that whatever the plugin that I have given it to you, you need to be installing everything. No, these are all some basic plugins I have given. Now based on your features, you need to be means you will be requiring different set of plugins. Now a normal blog will not have too many plugins apart from an e-commerce website. A website will be having too many a few more plugins than a blog plugin. So in this way, based on the type of website, the plugin increases. Always use here are few of the best practices that you need to be following. Use only necessary plugins. Now, whichever plugin is required, only use that plugin. Otherwise, do not use all the other plugin that comes from the third-party developer or from the repository by itself. Now, use only from credible use only credible plugins. Now, to show you an example, I will get on to plugins. Now I'll just click on to add new. What you can do is you can search for example, if you search for Google, if you search for cache, you'll be able to see a list of cache plugins comes down. You see light speed cache has 1 plus million installs and with 1184 comments, and that to 5-star, and it was updated 1 week back, and it is compatible with the version. Usually whenever I want to install a plugin, I always look at this little area. Now I want how frequently it has been updated. Now this plugin is totally free. It is nothing and moreover, I always look in terms of how many install has been. You see that even this is 1 million, this is WP cache, and I like this plugin is also means it has both variation of the thing. And one of the another thing that I like about this plugin, it actually clears up. There is a feature that they have in terms of what to say, um, compressing or means deleting the database. So with the paid plugin, this plugin is literally very good, but their update was 2 months back, but whereas 1 week, 7 days and 4 weeks. So then we have so many other plugins. If you just see that 600 something auto optimize 1 plus million, SG 9000 9, 9 lakh and 3000. If you have a WP Cloud Super Cache, 3 lakh Super Cache, 2 million installed. This is one of the very famous plugin. Do not go down and install plugins like this. Your 3 months they haven't even updated, and 1000 plus active installation, comprehensive cache and performing. That is what they say, but we don't know exactly how good this plugin is, because it does not come from a credible source, or people are talking. Only 16 people have recommended. I would just read this option, just see this option available here. Apart from that, you can go into WordPress directory and just check it out. If you see here WordPress, just click onto the plugins and you'll be able to see when this plugin was updated. The last update was released on 2 weeks earlier. It has 5+ million website, and it supports the 5.3 what to say or higher WordPress version. So tested up to 4 months 5.4.2. Now this is one thing that you need to be always looking at it. Apart from that, you can just look in their documentation. Are they providing any kind of documentation or any kind of help that they want to give it? Now here are few of then this is how people are commenting it. Apart from that, you can just see who is the developer and how what kind of support he can deliver. If you just see that issues solved in last 2 months, 174 and 84. You can just always visit, just click on to visit forum, and then you can get into it and just check it out exactly how people are how frequently he's using. Adding custom, if you see here, adding custom text to backend form, then it was 6 hours, but there is no response yet. Now there is already a response. If you see here, it was 7 hours ago. There is basically a response here when a person is commented, and then you have this is a good forum wherein if you are into WordPress, if you're using WordPress, it's a huge community altogether. So you can always go down and use this if you come into problems, and people are ready to help you, or the developer will come down and they will help you here. That is what it is all about. Okay. Apart from that, means update plugins regularly. Whenever you see an update, means a plugin update, always make sure that you update your plugin. In order to click on, means in order to update your plugins, by default, plugin will showcase you which plugin is outdated and which plugin is not outdated. To do that up, you can just means you can just come down here and click on to dashboard and click on to updates. WordPress will give you all the necessary updates, not only for plugins, even it will give you for themes as well. Okay. So make sure that you keep your website updated frequently as and when the updates are available. Avoid using null plugins. Avoid using null plugins. Now, means null plugin, usually what happens, those plugins are not available in repository for free of cost. For that, you need to, for example, any premium plugins comes with a premium feature, and you want to utilize the, for example, WP Rocket. Now, WP Rocket is available in the market for null. If you go into Google, you can just say WP Rocket, and you'll be able to see null. Now do not go down and use this plugin. Don't go down and download this plugin and upload it to your website. This is really very bad. It could actually comes with lot, means usually these are all not trusted source of this plugin. If you want to have a trusted source, you need to be investing money. So you need to be going down to WP Rocket. ठीक है. So this is the trusted source where you can go down and buy a plugin. How much does it cost? It costs you only $49 for one website for 1 year. Uh, and believe me, this worth is it's worth investing it if you that could literally speed up your website. So I would recommend you don't go down and do any kind of null plugins that could means your website will be um, it is not good for the health of your website will be not good. So test plugin in Sandbox or staging website. Now a sandbox when sandbox website sandbox or a staging website is basically where you test up your theme, website design, or something. So in that cases you can always go and test it. So whether if you're using XAMPP, WAMP on your Windows platform, or you can use local WP for installing up your WordPress site, or you can use Sandbox CMS uh, so that you can go down and install your WordPress and test your plugins there rather than testing it on your live site, so that you don't experiment much on the live site. Always test somewhere. If you feel that this particular plugins are working good based on your requirement, always come down and install it and start working on it. Don't leave unused plugins in the server. Now, this is one of the most thing I have seen most of the user does it. They install plugins and they don't forget, I mean, they are not, I mean, they deactivate it and they leave it there itself, whether they are asking for updates or not. So this is one of the, means this particular is very much indeed required a required step. So whenever you find a plugin that is not required, immediately go down and delete it. Whenever it is required, you can update, I mean, install it. So living on the server, because it utilizes your server space. If the code is bad, usually those plugins will be an what to say loopholes for getting your website hacked. So remove left database. Whenever we install and uninstall database, you can always remove the left behind database tables. So one of the plugins that I would recommend you is WP Optimize in terms of removing this leftover whenever you have installed your website and you're deleting it. Now that plugin literally helps you in terms of optimizing your database. Not only that, it helps you also deleting up that databases and clearing up and maintaining your website in a smoother way. So this concludes my overall plugin topic. If you have, I hope you like this video. If you like it, uh, ठीक है, I'll be coming down with lot of videos in other ways. Thank you.